this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can, and this time I'll be playing What Remains of Edith Finch. I know literally nothing about this game. It was an impulse purchase after I read somewhere, on a list of games with supposedly very emotional storylines, that it's very touching and all that. And I also heard it's supposedly a game that belongs to the dreaded walking simulator category, but I personally am one of those people who don't really care. It isn't a stigmatizing category to me. I have played some games that could be reasonably described as walking simulators, and I enjoyed them. For me, games are less about any kind of gameplay challenge and more about an emotional and an intellectual experience. If a game makes me feel something or reflect on something or ponder some deep questions, it is a value in and of itself to me. It doesn't have to be challenging. It doesn't have to be very demanding or even innovative or interesting in the gameplay department. I'm one of those people who, if a game is crafted well enough, the only thing it might offer is exploration, and I will still be satisfied. I am one of those people who really like looking at stuff in games and deducing some kind of a deeper meaning, or the story behind the environment itself. Environmental storytelling is definitely one of those things that I enjoy a lot. So in short, I've heard this game is pretty touching, and I look forward to that. And I don't have any expectations in terms of gameplay or anything. Now, apparently the main menu of this game is shaped in it showcases the family tree of the Finches. And here's Edith. I'm not sure if I'm Edith. That's going to be determined during the game itself. But what is interesting to me, I'm not quite sure what the fallen leaves represent. Are those people who they are recorded somewhere as part of their family, but there is not enough information to pinpoint exactly whose relatives at what timeline they were, so they just wrote them as a sort of potential clue for future searches? I'm not entirely sure, but maybe that's going to be revealed. Also, I can't fail to notice that I had two siblings, and they are both dead, and at pretty young ages too. My brother Milton was 11 when he died, and my other brother was 22. I must have a pretty tragic family history to go with that, because obviously people don't usually die that young unless something horrible happens to them or they are severely ill. Let's continue. So apparently I'm on a ferry or something. I can't move, so I assume I'm just waiting for something. Puget Sound ferry lines, and some advertisements for cannery and travel. I can't really do anything, so I assume I'm just... Okay, I have to pause for a second, be right back. Okay, I'm back. So... Edith Finch journal. So I take it from that I'm Edith indeed, because I'm holding her journal. And I'm definitely a woman, judging by my hands.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you. And I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house. Someone had put up a chain link fence, but it looked like I wasn't the first person to hop it. My brother Milton disappeared when I was 4. It was like the house just swallowed him up.
Missing. If you have information about Milton, call the Orcas Island Police Department. Milton Finch. Date missing? October 23rd, 2003. Date of birth? May 19th, 1992. Last seen, Orcas Island. Age of disappearance 11. Race mixed, Indian/white. Milton Finch. Now, either we did eventually find his body, or whoever drew this family tree just callously assumed that he's already dead, because his date of death is listed as 2003, which is the year of his disappearance. And from what the protagonist said, it sounds like they never found him, so it's pretty... like, I don't know. I guess that's a rather contentious issue, because if I were to list, at some point, it probably gives people closure to just assume that their loved one is dead, rather than continuously hope that they are going to show up, and they never do, year after year after year. But on the other hand, it seems strangely callous to me to just assume that he's dead and write the date as the exact same year in which he disappeared in the first place. I guess that remains to be seen. What more does the story reveal about him?
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
It's a very weird house. It looks more like a tree house than an ordinary house for people to live in continuously. That certainly doesn't strike me as something that abides by the building regulations. The scenery around is nice, though. Is that a mailbox? I guess so. Orcas Island Gazette.
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately. I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
No trespassing. I wear a ring on a string. It's an interesting way to wear a ring. No trespassing. This property is protected by video surveillance. Trespassers will be prosecuted.
In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
The Finches. There's a fork in the road here. I'm not quite sure where should I go.
No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
Okay, so this seems like a main road, kind of. So I'm going to check out the other one that goes down into the forest. Hmm. Would the other path wind down here eventually anyway? Like it goes up?
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to. The woods around the house have always been uncomfortably silent, as if they're about to say something but never do.
Okay, now I'm curious about the other path. Maybe... Okay, there's a wheelbarrow. For whatever reason. Maybe it is going to loop back. Missing. That's the poster of my brother. It does look back over here. I will go back there just to be certain that I didn't miss anything. You know, comments-wise, on the part of the protagonist, or... Yeah, so that's literally just where I was with the fallen tree. So I don't think there was nothing here.
The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
Yeah, the design of it definitely strikes me as at least a little bit insane. Especially that high part. It doesn't seem safe to me. Although I must also admit,
I asked Edie once about the dragon in the pond. She said it had killed her husband. I was 6. It seemed like an odd joke to me, even then.
What even is that? Was that like a boat or just a garden ornament? I must say the tower, despite looking supremely unsafe, also looks kinda cool. Which, you know, those two things often do go side by side.
Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
Recyclables, waste management, Orcas Islands. I'm not quite sure which way should I approach it.
I heard something moving around in the garage.
Gary's potting mix. So that's earth for plus fertilizer for the garden. Another one of my brother's missing posters. Oh, was that a water slide? At some point, and the mouth was like the exit point.
I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't. Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
Okay, so let's get by the side door. Wait, why didn't you try?
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
Why didn't you try the key at first? Like, I understand I would have maybe entered through the doggy door if it didn't work, but I certainly would have tried the key first.
The power had been turned off the night we left.
Okay, bottles of detergent, paint, whatever, enamel, more dirt. Is it like a fryer? Important. It's a little too blurry for me to comfortably read. Pool.
For the first time in years.
2010. Yeah, that's where my brother died. I guess we moved out afterwards. Edie, Dawn, Louis, Milton, and Edith. So Dawn was my mother, I guess. But what? How is Edie short for either Gus or Gregory? I don't quite get that, but
I felt like I was home.
The Northwest Chef, flour, salt, water, yeast. The holiday feast. bottles of
But
wine.
instead of a family, there were just memories of one.
Oh, so Edie was my grandma. Okay. In loving memory, Louis Finch, beloved brother to Edith, son of Dawn, great-grandson to Eddie, memorial service, Finch Family Cemetery. What? We must be some kind of a ridiculously important, possibly noble family if we have our own cemetery? That's definitely pretty weird. Secrets of the Stove, Pacific Coast Seafood, The Pleasures of Japanese Cooking. So all of the books are on cuisine. They also repeat, but you know, that's reused assets for you.
Like how only one restaurant would deliver to our house, so we had Chinese a lot.
Imperial Palace. Yeah, to be honest, with such a remote house, they're lucky to even have a restaurant that would deliver to them, because that's a very secluded kind of location. A lot of canned food.
Or how after Louis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
Apple pie. 6 cups of sliced apples, 2 tablespoons of water, tablespoon of lemon juice, sugar, brown sugar, purpose flour, cinnamon, nutmeg, ground ginger, salt. I'm just reading through the recipe to see if there are any Easter eggs in the description. In a saucepan, combine the apples, water and lemon juice. Cook over medium-low heat just until the apples are tender. Remove from heat and cook. Do not drain. In a large bowl, combine the sugars, flour, cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger and salt. Add apples and toss to coat. Place bottom pastry in a pie plate. Add apple mixture. Cover with top pastry. Seal and flute edges. Cut slits in top crust. Bake at 450 degrees for 10 minutes. Reduce heat to 350. Bake for 35 to 45 minutes. Minutes longer, or until golden brown. Yield 6 to 8 servings. Okay, so no Easter eggs in that description. That's an unholy beast of a toaster. Like, I guess it's totally reasonable to have a large toaster if you have a larger family and you like toast. I'm just weirded out because I myself have never seen one that's larger than 2. You know, 2 of those bread slits. And this one has, what, 6? So it's like 3 toasters all rolled into one. Barbara Finch, which would be what? It would be... no, Eddie was my grandma, I mean great-grandmother, and Barbara would be my grandfather's sister? It looks like she was a director? My friend someone. A Viking's Belly, Raw Fowl, Pacific Coast Seafood. Yeah, all of the books are about cooking.
The table was still a wreck from the night we left. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture.
Yeah, you must have left in quite a hurry, actually. We must have fled, because there's like wine spilled still, and you know, which, to be honest, this must be like pretty dry at this point. You know, broken cutlery and stuff. My great grandma's wheelchair.
My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great Grandma Edie living in a nursing home.
Welcome home. Assisted living. Enjoy life. That's a pretty cool lantern.
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth. Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank.
To be honest, I get kind of a hoarder's vibe from this house. Like, there's a lot of books and generally just stuff lying around in a rather unorderly manner. View is nice though.
Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
Barbara Finch.
Great Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house.
I guess someone in my family must have been interested in etymology. So that was my great grandfather, but why is he as a fallen leaf? If I knew that, shouldn't he be like over here?
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night. My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive.
Well, so I guess she didn't draw this. Whoa.
Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library.
What? What does that even mean? I sure hope it isn't literal. Okay. I think this first episode has been long enough, so I'm going to pause it here. That's all for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.